זה היום עשה השם נגילה ונסבכה בו. ברוכים הבאים. Welcome to Congregation Kal Nachlas Yitzchak, to an historic Queen Siyum HaShas and Semicha Chag for 8 new Rabbanim in our community. It's truly a kavod, a big honor to be in the presence of so many HaShas Rabbanim, the Marad Asra Shlita, the Rosh Hashiva Shlita, and many others. We'll begin by having the Marad Asra, Harav Noach Isaac Obam Shlita, Hagaina Rav Noach Isaac Obam Shlita, do the Siyum HaShas, Semicha Hashem, be Messiah the Shas, followed by the Kaddish, and then we're going to do a Rikud, Bezat Hashem. We're going to ask all the guys to get together with a big Simcha Satorah, and Bezat Hashem, we're going to have the Divrei Chizuk by the Marad Asra, and then we're going to have the Smicha, Chag Smicha of the Avrechim. So without further ado, we call upon Hagoyin Harav Noach Isaac Obam Shlita to be Messiah Shas.
Welcome our friendly neighbor across the street, which we feel very much connected, especially with Rosh Hashiva, going to Bar and Valken. We go back many years. I even spoke at one of the Bal Mitzvahs, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Parshas Bal Oischo, I'm not sure. But Baruch Hashem, that Yedidus has continued for many years and strengthened, going back still with his father Shlita and so on and so forth. I'm very happy to see throughout this after the Shemaya, how he has grown and had the chus to become a Choshev Marbitz Torah, not only in Queens, but in Lakewood. Baruch Hashem, now also to celebrate this Chag Smicha as a result of these efforts. So as we said, it was basically B'kitzur just be Messiah Shas. We'll say the Hadron, the customary Hadron, and the Kaddish, and after that, Bez Hashem will be Mesameach, B'simchas HaTorah, and then a few words of Divrei Chizuk, and we'll continue with the program further. The Gemara ends and says, "This needed Tona de Be'elayo Kol Hashoyna Halachas B'Chol Yoyim." Anyone who learns a number of halachas, the Achronim point out, halachas means at least 2 halachas. Now, I have no idea what it means just to learn halacha. We always think of mastering Shas, Avada, these are gewaldige things. But merely even having the schus to learn 2 halachas, even one word of Torah, what it means. But we need halacha l'maiset in order to be able to be a yid. Is secure. He can feel he's a promise that Bez Hashem you'll be zoichet to be a ben olam haba. If you learn 2 halachas b'chol yoyim, shenemar, the pasuk says, halichos olam loy, al tikra halichos el halachos. If someone studies halachos, olam loy means he will have the eternal world. Just a Gavorchen or Godel just pointed out, and that's the only word I'll say just for now before we say the chizuk. You notice what it says over here. Someone who studies halachas every day, muftach loy, he'll be secured. Shehu ben olam haba. Grammatically, apidigduk the lashon should be muftach loy sheyihya ben olam haba. That when the time comes, that they'll be zeichet to have olam haba in the future. It doesn't say sheyih. It says muftach loy shehu ben olam haba. Right now, living in olam hazeh. But when a person studies halacha b'chol yoyim, you actually are experiencing olam haba in this world. We can imagine as if he had been whisked away, taken out of this world, put into olam haba. During the period, Rabbi said, a person learns halacha, and not only he learns halacha, but halichos olam loy. It means the way that he deals with the world, the way that he walks in the world, is api halacha. Al tikra halichos el halachos. When a yid walks, Rabbi says, not stop walking. When a yid walks, every pa'ula, every effort that a yid does is avodas Hashem. Rabbi Yosef Karen Shulchan Aruch says it. He did not write it only for tzaddik and bala madrega. Siman Reish Lamed Aleph. B'chol drachecha da'eu. No matter what a yid does, you have to be mindful of the Rebbeinu Shalom. We all eat and drink. Kishe oichel v'shoyse, when he eats and he drinks. Umetayel. And when you take a walk, a good healthy walk, the kavanah should be, it says, loy lahanos atzmoy, not for your own personal pleasure, Eloi says, Lasois nachas ruach liyotzroi. Which means that everything that he does, Rabbi said, there's no davar choil. Because everything automatically becomes elevated to an avodas Hashem. Al tikra halichos. When a yid goes, it's not stam gegangen, not stam he went. But when a yid goes, Rabbi said, it's halachos. Every step of a yid is another area of avodas Hashem. Hadden noch tenoikes likkel am sagt es nieder. Hadden noch tenoikes likkel am sagt es nieder. Hadden noch tenoikes likkel am sagt es nieder. Hadden am sagt es nieder mit Talmud Bavli. We hadden nog dat am sagt es nieder mit Talmud Bavli. We daten noch is nashi mir noch mit sagt es nieder mit Talmud Bavli. Das nashi mir noch bei allem Hodaim bei allem Dose. Hadden am sagt es nieder mit Talmud Bavli. We hadden galon. Daten noch mit sagt es nieder mit Talmud Bavli. We daten galon. Lesnash minoch mesach esid vesamot bavli. Lesnash minon. Lo bal mehudaim lo bal medeusi. Hadlo mesach esid vesamot bavli. Vehadro chalon. Dataloch mesach esid vesamot bavli. Vedatro chalon. Lesnash minoch mesach esid vesamot bavli. Lesnash minon. Lo bal mehudaim lo bal medeusi. Hadro naloch mesach esid vesamot bavli. Hadro chalon. Dataloch mesach esid vesamot bavli. Vedatro chalon. Lesnash minoch mesach esid vesamot bavli. Das nache minon le bal medaim le bal medeusi. Gott mo vene khadenoy hayne blam sayn sheteros khim le sayn bal mazev saymuni lo le abu. Khanine ba pope rum ba pope nachmen ba pope. A khoy ba pope abamori ba pope. Rafren ba pope rogish ba pope srukh ba pope ado ba pope dure ba pope. Har no adenoy hayne ze vesos befinden wir vier sam gebei Israel. Wenn ihr klone nachten wir zet so eine wir zet so am gebei Israel klone yide shemecho. Veloy mit zer sagel de shmoch. Maar hoe weet ik mijn zeggen ik wil hem hili. Hili is om gekeken allemaal naar jij was. Hoe je schap ik gedeg ik bam geson ik ber gaat die nooit om dan gekeken. Mijn zelf wat. Mooi mijn nacht van gaat de nooit heen van zijn is samt toch keine meer huis bis medrisch. Weil samt toch keine meer huis we corona is. Schon maar schimmen we heim schimmen. Und maar schimmen de teuer we schimmen de wonen betalen. We mailen kabel schaar we mailen kabel schaar. Und rutzem lechayolem abu ve rutzem bei HaShas. Shenem avatol him tridim bei HaShas an shedum memer lech semay man yaftach boch. Yod ve lechad no ilahay keshaim sazatani. Haschel saim lil med lam lishme velasis lekayim. It's called divrei talmud tersech be havu. Schitz kolat nuem ba meruem samir khomem yamoid lunil zaraini. Shetum shatoyre mipinim pi zarain ve zarain adoilom. Es kein bi besalach getan geoysach beshab gotish malacho. Va kitzoys khohit es khakho ki beir be mekh ve sifel khosh nois khaim. Oy khim be minem smalosh ve kod ad noy oys. Amit an noy volach same ba sholem. Skada vis skada shmay rabo. Amen. Ve yom do es khado sel khaim masayu. Suka yosen khayalmo. Al me nekata di shalaim le shakhlul be khol be gavay. La meke begonnen gromenaro la so begonnen de shmal yasra be yamlo ke chebrechi be malchis ave koray be yatsma be kunay be koray meshichai be khayay khoyne be yoy khanem khayr khol bay Israel ba goled man koray be meumay Shalom ayo Zborach vishtabach vispar vistoymam visnasay Zadov visalev visalo shmay ke chebrechi Laim be kol be khutz ve shirus be khutz na khamoso da miron yalmo bimri umay al Yisrael varabun tamidem kol tamide samide be komandotski marais as hodaim khalasav asar ya la hoyn la khoyn shmarab khin ve khiz do verachmen khan rikh me zayn re khaf konem avin shma be yaro bimri umay la shmarab shma be khan do laim kol Yisrael bimri umay I say, show him, Raimo, him Rav, Shomalayim, ma kol Yisrael, v'mi
אשריכם, תלמידי חכמים, שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף. שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף. אוי 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 מה אהבתי, סוי יוסף סוי יוסף כל היום בשיחוסי. אוי 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 מה אהבתי, סוי יוסף סוי יוסף כל היום בשיחוסי. אוי אוי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים, שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. אוי אוי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים, שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. אשריכם 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 תלמידי חכמים, שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף. שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף. אוי 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 מה אהבתי, סוי יוסף סוי יוסף כל היום בשיחוסי. אוי 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 מה אהבתי, סוי יוסף סוי יוסף כל היום בשיחוסי. אוי אוי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים, שדברי תורה חביבים Mashiach bo Zizu b'simchu b'simcha sagiyulo Hinei Mashiach bo Zizu b'simchu b'simcha sagiyulo Hinei Mashiach bo Zizu b'simchu b'simcha sagiyulo Hinei Mashiach bo Hinei bo Hinei bo Hinei bo Yohidi gomeinu v'meinu v'yameinu Mashiach tzidkeinu ahai Hinei bo Hinei bo Hinei bo Hinei bo Yohidi gomeinu v'meinu v'yameinu Mashiach tzidkeinu ahai Hinei bo V'harevno Hashem V'harevno Hashem Elokeinu Es divrei seiros cho Soiros cho befinu V'harevno Hashem
V'harevno Hashem V'harevno Hashem Elokeinu Es divrei seiros cho Soiros cho befinu V'harevno Hashem
Chazoro, chazoro, lo, lamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, lamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom
Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom V'harevno Hashem V'harevno Hashem Elokeinu Es divrei seiros cho Soiros cho befinu V'harevno Hashem
V'harevno, v'harevno Hashem V'harevno Hashem Elokeinu Es divrei seiros cho Soiros cho befinu V'harevno Hashem
Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro
Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom
Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom
Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo chazoro Adron alo, v'hadro chalom Chazoro, chazoro, lo, chamo כך שמחו שעוד לא מתוינו וישאו איזה מיצו אהי משמחה וכל כך שמחו
Mazal tov, mazal tov, mazal tov. Slow music. Mazda, Mazda, Mazda. While everyone is finding their seats, today's community-wide Siyum HaShas and Semicha celebration is dedicated for the Tzlacha of Yechiel Zeh Ben Fega, the Zecher Nishmat Rav Yitzchak and Rav Avram, the Ilui Nishmat Sarah Bat Rachel Ambelu, Refuah Shlemat Tehila Bat Orna, Yeshiva Beis Nasamer, Kol Zechron Moshe Veleah. We're about to start the Semicha right now. This is a historic event. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, 8 new Musmachim, 8 new rabbis in our community. The Rosh Yeshiva Rav Aaron walking. It's a kavod gadol to have with us the Mara de Asra, a Paisik in our Mechaber Svarim Minchas Chein. Kavod gadol, all rise as we call upon Harav Noach Isaac Obam Shlita for Divrei Chizuk.
Before we begin our proceedings, Rav Gifter, Zechron Levracha Rosh Yeshiva tells, used to say that he learned what a Melas B'Torah means by having visited one great Gevir, a philanthropist, hopeful to get a sizable donation for Yeshiva's tells, and realized that whenever he came to the business of the businessman, no matter what appointment he had given him, he never had any time. He also realized that this particular Gevir had a beautiful, beautiful house. But he made a chesh when he found out that he leaves early in the morning, so he's not in the house. He comes home very late at night. He's not in the house. Spends most of his life, most of his time in business. And he asked him, he said, what is your life all about? So you have this beautiful house, you have this wonderful family. And Rav Gifter said he answered something very simple but profound. The klal is, if you want to be matzliach in business, you have to be kula shikua, you have to be totally, totally consumed with the business. Rav Gifter said if that is true in the world of Gashmias, in the world of materialism, if you want to be matzliach in Torah, you have to be fully consumed. Kula shikua, completely dedicated, completely committed. Drawing an analogy to what Rav Gifter says, I understand, although I'm not in business, that in order to be successful, you have to have a good business manager. In my business, Business HaTorah, I also have a very special business manager. I'd like the Olam to give a hand to Rabbi Newman, Rabbi Isai. It's not easy to say, but it's Baruch Hashem, the 6th Mahzer. More than 42 years that we are together with all the Kanai Chevret Bet Afyoimi. Some started a little earlier, some later. But so many young people who had the schus starting young and were Messiah Shas many times over. Now I really have a heartfelt shakoychli to all the Magid Shir Aboisai and Arbis Medrash that was zoichet to be Marbitz Torah. And more than giving thanks, I like to give them all a bracha. that they should continue in their avodas hakodesh with a lot of siyata d'shmaya, because Baruch Hu should repay them kiflei kiflayim, should be zoiche, arichas yomim v'shonim, Semicha and HaShas, v'chovas adas, and to be able to continue to do the rotzah habayir and to be marbi kvod shemayim ad olam. I mentioned yesterday in shul, and I repeated, spoken to 5 towns, simply saying this is not my regular voice. For those who don't know, I was zoich to be Messiah HaShas in Lublin. Came home Thursday night. And Baruch Hashem, I cannot express to you the feeling, the hagosha, the standing in the place where it all began. The great Meir Shapiro. You have to realize, although we did not have 100,000 people at that Siyum, probably didn't even have 1,000, maybe just a couple of 100. But I found out that there's a world of Torah all over the globe. People have come from London, from Berlin, from Ukraine, Kiev, they came from Moscow, they came from Eretz Yisrael, and of course from America. Even some groups on their own who had the HaShas in Borough Park, they decided that they're going to celebrate the HaShas in Lublin, Poland, in the place where Meir Shapiro Rabbi inaugurated and started this tremendously atzlochadige concept that was Mar B'Torah B'Yisrael, which is known as Daf Yomi. And I can tell you, although there's nothing really there throughout the year, but merely standing in the same place where Meir Shapiro stood, in front of the Aron Kodesh, and to be able to say a hadron, the same place where Meir Shapiro said it twice his Messiah HaShas in Lublin. I'm reminded of the words that Meir Shapiro said at the time, at the Hanochas Even Apina, when they laid the cornerstone of the tremendous edifice. Even today it's a chiddush, such a yeshiva building. Yeshiva's Chachmei Lublin. And he said the following, as only Meir Shapiro could say it. Rabbi Seinu HaGadoshim, our holy Rebbes, the Gedolah Achronim that lived in Lublin, were Mabis Torah, the Marsha, the Maram, the Marshal, Reb Sholem Shachne, the Shver of the Ramah, and another Godel even before them, even greater, Reb Yanka Polak, that many never even heard of. With the more rice, he was the Rabbon Shekol B'nei Agoyla. His kever is also there. And Meir Shapiro said, and he spoke, and he opened his eyes and lifted his hands. Rabbi Seinu HaKadoshim, you started it, it's not me. Because although you are not here anymore, but your Torah is still alive. The Torah that you taught, Asher Mipia Monuchayim, we live to this day, we drink your waters. I invite you to come here, he said, at the opening of our yeshiva, because we are in fact being mamshich. We are being mamshich the derech HaTorah that you have transplanted here on this soil, in this mokim. I invite you all to the Hanochas Even Apina to be part of this grand celebration. And he continued. Chazal tell us, Kedusha Rishoyno, Kitcha L'Shaito, V'Kitcha Losid Lovoi, that the Kedusha that was implanted in the Beis HaMikdash was not only for that time, but that Roshim of Kedusha remains forever. So Meir Shapiro, Rabbi Seinu HaKadoshim, the Gedolah Achronim who are alive today, their Torah, you planted Kedusha in this mokum. That Kedusha Rishoyna that you have planted, Kitcha L'Shata V'Kitcha Losid Lovoi, he said to them, and I want to tell you, there is no Yeshiva Chachma Lublin, you have the building, that's all you have. But I tell you, you could feel, standing there, the Kedusha Rishoyna, the Meir Shapiro said in his time, was still there, Losid Lovoi, is still there now, without the Yeshiva being there, without Meir Shapiro being there. You would only be able to understand it if you were there, to be able to look at the bare walls, but yet recognizing as how many thousands of Blätter Gemara are absorbed in those walls. The Kedusha Torah is still Rabbi Sai, is still illuminating. That is a tremendous, tremendous hargosha. So I want to tell you, Shechiyonu v'kimonu v'gyonu l'zman hazeh. I once mentioned I heard from someone who said that his brother gave up on using a GPS. I said, why? Because in Chodesh Elul, you know, when many people go Yom Naroyim Tekufa, they go to the cemetery. So he had a GPS giving him direction. When he arrives at the cemetery, the GPS says to him, you have now arrived at your final destination. Messiah HaShas, Rabbi Isai, did not arrive at the final destination. This is not the final, this is not the end. And I'll tell you the truth, it's not the Haschol either. You know why? Because the second time around Shas is not merely repeating, you're learning it now on a new level. So you're not beginning again, it's a new beginning. Every time you start Shas, Rabbi Isai, it's Haschol Chadoshe. It certainly did not reach the final destination, and the Haschol is not the same Haschol. We continue on. So Sisu v'simchu v'simchas ha'toiro. Rabbi Isai, what is the double ocean? Sisu v'simchu. Rejoice and be mesameach in the simchas ha'toiro. And I believe that the pshat is, it parallels, the Malbim tells us in Keilodin when you daven say, Smeichim b'tzeisom, v'sosim b'voyom. Sisu v'simchu v'simchas ha'toiro. Semechim b'tzeisom, we have simcha b'tzeisom as we have left Shas, we're Messiah Shas. But v'sosim b'voyom, the same time we are rejoicing to having the opportunity to begin Shas again. So I say the following. Many years ago at one of the Aguda conventions, the Sadiger Rebbe Shlita was an article of the Heilige Rishner. I don't know if this Sfari Olam knows, but he was a tremendous Kodesh. About Moifis, one of the Gedoyel Agdar, respected by all of his peers. Two Yidden bought a house together. And they were not stam to Yidden. They were two brothers. And then they found out there is a tzvah of Rabbi Yehuda Chosid, one of the Balatoises, that says it is a sakona for two brothers to live in the same house. But they bought it already. So they went to the original rabbi and said, what should we do? We bought this house and we are living together. The original rabbi took a cloth and he wrote something, presumed some Shemus HaKadoshim, or maybe some lines of the Zohar HaKadosh. He said, keep this Kameya, keep this with you, it'll serve as Shmira. You have nothing to worry about. And Kachave, for many, many years they lived together. Everything was okay. But they're very curious to find out, what did the Rebbe write? What did the Rebbe write? Years went by and the original Rebbe was already nifter. They themselves did not have the courage to open up the Kameya. So they decided the following. They're going to go to one of the grandsons of the Rebbe. He'll have a little more courage to open it up. In fact, he was very curious himself. What did the Rebbe write? There may be possibly some very deep words of Kabbalah we won't understand, but at least let's see what he wrote. And they opened it up, and they saw the Rebbe wrote the following. That's all that he wrote. Now you say that standing here today, can I know her? With our friendly neighbors. And if you haven't heard already what Reb David Kviyat, Rosh Shivimir said, you don't have to be a great Baldigduk. Sheves Achim Gam Yochad. What is the Gam? Sheves Achim Yochad. And Rav David Kviyat says, you know, there's a Gemara about the comment of Samicha. The oil is been tired. This is no pilpul, just one line of Gemara. Zaloch, if someone gives a matona, it's called Esnan Zoyna for immoral purposes, you cannot use that matona for a carbon. The Gemara clears the Shiloh, what happens if you change it? In other words, let's say you gave him matona chitim wheat, and you ground it up into flour. It's nishtana. Am I allowed to use it now as a carbon? So the Gemara says, Toyavas Hashem gam sheneyem, gam leraboy shinuyeyem. That even if you change it, it's the same. Reb David Kviyat said, you know, when is it so good? When is it so nice? Sheves Achim, gam yochad, gam leraboy shinuyeyem, when you see all different types of people. Ashkenazim, Sfardim, Hasidim, non-Hasidim, whatever background they may have. And yet people are able to come together and to celebrate for the Kovod HaTorah. So Nevada, this is a tremendous, tremendous Simcha. Torah brings the masses together. That's what brought us together here. Hine ma toiv, ein toiv ala Torah. V'samachta b'chal ha-toiv. It's a Mishnah Masechtas Avos. Hine ma toiv, look how toiv is the toiv of Torah. Look how manoim it is. Kesheves achim gam yochad, it is that koich ha-Torah. It's only that koich that is able to bring Yidden, all Yidden, to bring them together. But I want to tell you something. But there, klal, when you hear speeches about Daf Yomi, and they try to bring out the chashivas or the achievement, what Daf Yomi accomplished, usually it is brought out on two levels. One level is, avada, the incredible contribution of Daf Yomi is that whereas in previous dairas, Rabbi Isai, in previous dairas, the concept of Siyum HaShas was a luxury that only Gedolei Torah could dream of. And I'll tell you a bigger chiddush. Even in early dairas, even Gedolei dairas, not all of them, Rabbi Isai, learned Shas on the same level of Iyun. Take a look what the Mashal writes in Masechta Shabbos. I did not write Chedushim over here because I was out of the yeshiva. I was in an Inyan, a Yerid, for some market that he had to be involved in. He was there. He did not learn it with Talmidei Yeshiva. Mashal said, I did not write on this topic. Take a look at the Akdom of the Pnei Yeshua. He writes many Mechabrim who write Sfarim on Masechtas, but they never write to the end. They learn a blot here, a blot there, Loshn Pnei Yeshua. Allah Echod Bebad Echod. One leaf on a stem. That's all. And today, Baruch Hashem, we're able to see that even Balabatim, Yishayah to that, Rabbi said that Balabatim, to be able to be Messiah Shas. And therefore, Lublin, actually, someone mentioned, one of the Rabbanim mentioned, maybe now that we see that Balabatim are being Messiah Shas, so when you start a drosha, which conventionally, this is the Nusach, B'shus Rabbanim HaGoyim, Balabatim Chashuvim B'nei Torah. Maybe we should change it now. B'shus Balabatim Chashuvim. And then Rabbanim also at the end. We should reverse it. What Balabatim are able to achieve, look what Balabatim are able to accomplish. For a Balbos to have a concept of Siyum HaShas was something, a fantasy beyond his wildest imagination. But today, thanks to Daf Yomi, we see people from all walks of life stumble about them, professionals, could be doctors, could be lawyers, general business people, persisted. For Kaveyitim LaTorah, they were zoichet to the highest title, and that is the Keser Torah. That's one thing, usually brought out. Maybe not that eloquent, but that's what's brought out. But the second idea, Rabbi Isai, that is brought out, the idea and the gewaldige achievement is because you're guaranteed the limud of Torah b'tmidius consistently each and every day. You're committed to Daf Yomi means that a day will not go by without learning. Doesn't make a difference, Rabbi, if you have a chasana, you have a wedding, you have a business meeting. Doesn't make a difference. The daf has to be learned if someone is truly committed to learning Daf Yomi. I know the case. I heard directly from Sholem Shvadron. He used to come here. The old people, I say in the Besmedrash, the elderly might remember, for many, many years, Rav Sholem used to come here for Shabbos. Rav Sholem related, he says that a Magichir came once at the Chazaynish regarding a situation. The weather was very bad. He lived in Bayit Vegan, and he had to take a bus to the Beis Medrash where he gave the shir. But being there was such a tremendous rain, he figured that nobody's going to come. It's not gedai for him to get on the bus and be matriach for nothing. But before he makes this decision, he's going to ask the Chazanish what to do. Chazanish says, I want to ask you one question. Looking around the people that you have, do you think there might be at least one person that will come, no matter what the weather? One! He starts thinking around, juggling, this person sits over here, so there. Yeah. There's one person I know, no matter what, he's going to come. So he says, you have to go. For that one person, you have to be matriach and give the regular shir that you are giving. And the reason he said is the following. Because Limud Torah is not like any other mitzvah. Any other mitzvah, you didn't do the mitzvah, Okay, you lost the mitzvah. But Limud Torah says, a day that a person does not learn, it's not merely that he lost the mitzvah of Talmud Torah. He's not the same person. A person who learns Torah transforms into a different chefza of a person. If he does not have the opportunity to learn, he's not the same person that he would have been. Which means when a Yid, after he gets up from any kviyas itim l'Torah, you should be a different person. You're not the same person that came in as when you have left. That's what Torah is supposed to accomplish. That he's supposed to become a chefze shel Torah. It's not just the yediyas ha-Torah. It's not just the knowledge of Torah. But Torah is supposed to, Rabbi Sai, change you. Many years ago, and again it was not a Siyum Daf Yomi, but it was a Motzei Shabbos session at a good convention, and again Rav Gifter spoke at that time, and he said, you know the definition of someone who learns Daf Yomi, he said that's called a Daf Yomi Yid. It's not a Yid who learns Daf Yomi. He becomes a Daf Yomi Yid. What does it mean he's a Daf Yomi Yid? Well, a Daf Yomi Yid, he says, means to say is that whatever he does now, he does al pi Torah. Because now he and the Torah become one. And even current events, he reads it and looks at it with Torah degei eyes. Does not take it from the world hashkafa to understand what is happening in the world. You have now a responsibility, Rabbi Sai, that your ben odom l'mokim has to be in a higher level. Your ben odom l'chaveroi has to be in a higher level. In general, these are the two milas brought out. But I want to add another one. Today, Bizmanenu, is another new additional phenomenon created by the magic of Daf Yomi. How times have changed, Rabbi Sai. It used to be, now repeat, it used to be, that only Rabbanan, Rosh Yeshivas, Magid Shir, Mechanchem, were able to say Shir Daf Yomi. Today we see an amazing amount of Balabatim, who are Magid Shir, Rabbi Sai. We are very proud in our own base medrash. Quite a few. Long are gone the days when we started. If I had a chassan or something to go to, very difficult to get a daf yomi. My business manager took care of it to see a substitute. And at that time it was very difficult to do it. And I found out later you had to pay. She did. To get a Magid Shir as a substitute. Because only those who already were giving shurim someplace else, either as a Rebbe in a yeshiva or something, he wouldn't have the time normally to give a daf yomi shir. And somebody else couldn't do it. Times have changed. Mamela Rabbi Sai, through daf yomi, an avenue was created where Balabatim have become Rabitza HaTorah, to the envy of many Rabbonim. That Rabbi Sai also, not enough mentioned, was the Ashkofer of Meir Shapiro, because Meir Shapiro tells us, very fascinating Gemara which come out every Ben Torah heard of or learned. Was a Pesachim Daf Chodeis. Was a Tana by the name of Shimon HaMisoini. Hoyadayrish Kol Es in Shabbat Torah. Wherever it said the word Es in the Torah, it would say it comes to add something. It comes to be marba something. Teach us something new. Everything went wine and okay until it came to the pasuk as Hashem Elokecha Tira. Torah says that you have to be in awe of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to be Yer Shemayim. What are we going to be marba? What are we going to add? As Hashem Elokecha Tira. Who else? What are we going to add? Pirish. He decided to separate himself. He gave up on this, Rabbi Yisai. He gave up on this mission. He's not going to darshan any of the Essen anymore. Until Rabbi Akiva came, V'dorash es Hashem Elokecha Tira l'Rabbis Talmidei Chachomim. Which means the same way that you have to have your Shemayim, you have to have Yiras HaKovod for a Talmud Chacham. The Rabbis Talmidei Chachomim. Says Meir Shapiro. Look how he teaches this Gemara. Shimon HaMisoini Hoyadayrish Kol Es in Shabbat Torah. At first it began to darshan everywhere it says the word Es. Kim Shegiah, when it comes to the posuk as Hashem Elokecha Tira, Pirish. You know what that means? Meir Shapiro says when he came to the posuk as Hashem Elokecha Tira, the Torah says there's a mitzvah you have to be Yer Shemayim. So if Shimon HaMisoini, you have to imagine, sits down and scratches his head. Be Yer Shemayim. What's the best way to be Yer Shemayim? What's the best way? If you have to be your Shemayim, what is the best way to be kind of your Shemayim? It's not that easy. So what is the most, Rabbi Isai, mutzlachdige way to be matzliach to your Shemayim? He comes to the conclusion, Pirish, you have to separate yourself from Olam Hazeh. If you want to be a Shemayim, you can't be involved with the world. You have to sit in your own Dalet Amis. You have to be concerned with your own growth. Yes, pay attention to your davening. Daven better, learn better, give tzedakah better. But see to it to avoid being involved with the world at large. Because if you're going to expose yourself to the outside world, it's going to be a contradiction to your Shemayim. We know very often what that happens. So if Shimon HaMisayni, when he comes to the Pasuk as Hashem L'kechotira, Pirish, you have to be Pirish yourself from Olam Hazeh. Achibora B'Kiva Tainus or Meir Shapiro. Kiva said, no. That's not what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wants. Sit and learn by yourself. Insulate yourself within your own Dalet Amis. Achibora B'Kiva, and Rabbi Kiva said, as Hashem L'kechotira, L'Rabbois Talmidei Chachomim, you have the Christ to see there are more Talmidei Chachomim in the world. Kodesh Baruch Hu's greatest Simcha is when a Nocha Talmid Chacham, there's an additional Talmid Chacham. If you're a Shemayim, you have to do what makes the Kodesh Baruch Hu happy. There's nothing that makes the Kodesh Baruch Hu more happy than giving him a gift of Talmid Chacham. No greater gift than a present can you give to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Bring him a Talmid Chacham. Build a new Talmid Chacham. Create a new Talmid Chacham. It's Hashem L'kechotira, you're a Shemayim. L'Rabbois Talmidei Chachomim. See to it to add more Talmidei Chachomim in the world. And that is in fact what Meir Shapiro has done. So I will conclude and I'll tell you. One of the greatest Talmidim of Meir Shapiro, there were many of them. There was of course the Pinchas Hirschsprung, which I knew personally. He slept over in my house. I was there to be a Balach Sanya of his. I mean, Baki B'Shas is a understatement here already. As a Bocher was a Baki B'Shas, literally. And I can tell you an interesting Maisa that when he was once in the house, I heard him say Toises Balpeh. I heard him say Shach Taz Balpeh, literally. Loshen Beloshen. It's a type of Bikiyas that you read about only in books. You never meet this kind of Bikiyas, literally. So there was a Rav in Eretz Yisrael who was an Oilem Emes. What he used to do, I don't know what his tachlis, why he wanted to do this, but he used to call up Rabbanim, many Rabbanim in Queens, and ask them sort of like riddle questions. Now, in most cases, they didn't know the answer, because he picked out a type of a riddle, that nobody's going to know. So he asked me, he says, what is the price of a Megillas Esther? What kind of a question is that? What's the price of a Megillas Esther? Where are you going to buy it? What store? Who's the cipher? Everybody charges differently. What's the price of a Megillas Esther? I have to tell you what I did. I called up Rav Hirschsprung. And I said to him, Rav Hirschsprung, wie viel cost, tell me Yiddish first, wie viel cost a Megillas Esther? What's the price of Megillas Esther? Rav Hirschsprung says to me, what's the price of Megillas Esther? Buve Basra, said in his lotion, Buve Basra daf kifnin haim Megillas Esther bezize. Megillas Esther is a whole sugya there dealing with Megillas Esther. Agav. The Gemara says Megillas Esther bezuzah. This is the kind of Bekiyas. Megillas Esther bezuzah. Shmuel Vosner, one of the greatest poskim that we had, said he once took a walk with his Rebbe in the garden of Yeshivas Chacham Lublin. They had a garden, and his Rebbe said to him the following: you know, I was not zoichet to have children. Meir Shapiro did not have any children, but yet I was Mekai in the midst of Pru Ravu with two children. One is Daf Yomi and one is Yeshivas Chacham Lublin. These are my two children. This is how I was Mekayim, the mitzvah of Pruvu. And he says, I will never forget, said Rav Osner. And if you have a Rebbe, you have a Rosh Yeshiva, and you want to give him a maton on his birthday. Meir Shapiro's birthday was Zion Oder. Interesting. Meir Shapiro's birthday was Zion Oder. Shmuel Vosner said, you know what a gift every year, the gift that they would give from Meir Shapiro was that collectively they'd make a Siyum HaShas. This Bocher took Masechta the Brachas, this one took Psachim, everybody took a different Masechta. Sachachula, the yeshiva was Messiah HaShas. That was the matona. That was the gift that they gave him. So at that Siyum HaShas, Zion Oder, is Messiah Masechtas Nida. Hadron Aloch Tinoikis. Uslikalom Masechtas Nida said the following. Klal Yisrael was already feeling the pains of the Churban starting at that time. Hadroloch Tanaikis said, Rabbi Shloim, we are bringing you back Jewish children. We are building yeshivas. Look what I tried to do. We are being mechanech future dairis. Hadron loch tanaikis, we are giving you Jewish children. Not only that, Hadron is also Mloshin Hidur, beauty. We are giving you beautiful children. We are beautifying your children by raising them Mederech HaTorah. So now you, Rabbi Yisrael, Slikalo Mesachtes Nida, the parish of being Nidui Mikoloamim, the fact that we are excommunicated from the whole world, that we, Sinas Yisrael, that we are experiencing, see there should be an end. Hadloch Tanoikas Slikalo Mesachtes Nida. So I say to you, Rabbi Yisrael, this is a Gevaldig Eis Rotzen. Whenever you have a see Mesechta, tremendous Eis Rotzen, and Rav Shach says he remembers that a woman who is not blessed with children was told to go to the Brisker Rav Velvel to ask for a bracha. She comes, it was not an easy trip like today from Bnei Brak to go to Yerushalayim. She goes to the Brisker Rav. Brisker Rav's son was at the door. He was like the shamish, the gabbai, before you can come into him. She said, I needed to married many years. I was not blessed with a child. So he went into the father, and the father said, I will give her a bracha, let her come back in half an hour. She come back in half an hour, and the Brisker Rav says, not ready. Let her come back in another half an hour. This replayed itself 2 or 3 times. At the end, she came in, and he gave her a bracha. And that bracha, Rabbi Yisai, bore fruit. Baruch Hashem, she had a child. And they asked, why you told her to come back and forth many times? I'll tell you why. I was in the middle, ready to make a sima Masechtas Vochim. When she came, I was not finished yet. I thought another half an hour will be finished. She came in half an hour, was not yet finished. So I'll come back in another half an hour. She came back, I was not yet finished. But finally, the last time that she came, I was already finished. It was a Gevaldig Eis Rotzen at the time of a Siyum Masechta, and that's the time to give a bracha. Everybody, our boys had the opportunity. Ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a Gevaldig Eis Rotzen, and should be Zoiche. All of us to continue in Avodas HaKodesh, in whatever area in the Chinuch HaBonan, to be Matzliach, Bez Hashem, in the area of Shidduchim, in the area of good health, and Avad to continue to grow in Avodas Hashem. And overall, we shall all be zoichet to Emedik Yeshua of Klal Yisrael, B'Klal B'Prat, B'Biyas HaGoyel B'Mher V'Menu. Amen.
Morai v'Rabotai, Baruch Hashem, we were just missayim the first shlav of today's beautiful event. I just want to add something to what the Mar Dasu just said. Ramir Shapiro never had children. He wasn't zochet to have children. But he said he had 2 children. One was a Daf Yomi, and one was the Yeshivat Chachmei Lublin. You know, there's a famous Gemara, the Ben Azai says, anyone that's not osek b'pur uvu, it's as if he shofech damim. If you don't proactively try to have children, and chas v'shalom, as if you're osek in murder, God forbid. So they said to him, Na'eh doresh, na'eh mekayem, why don't you practice what you preach? And he says, no, by me learning Torah, I'm mekayem pur uvu. Learning Torah is pur uvu. So I want to share with you a point, mamash, to what the Mari Dasu says, that's going to apply to what we have here in our yeshiva. We say in the Kiddushav Musaf, Hen ga'alti etchem acharit kereshit. Hashem says, I will give you the Geulah, the redemption, acharit, at the end of days, like reshit, like in the beginning of days. We're going to see the Geulah in our generation like we saw it by Mitzrayim, all these miracles. But the Ben Ish Chai gives a different shot. Hen ga'alti etchem acharit kereshit. Hashem will give us the Geulah if we take the acharit, the last mitzvah of the Torah, as seriously as reshit, the first mitzvah of the Torah. What's the first mitzvah of the Torah? To have children. What's the last mitzvah? To write a Sefer Torah. Not just to write and put in the closet. To write, to learn, to study. The Rosh says to write Gemarot, to write Pirushim in the Gemara, to write Pirushim in the Mishnayot, Sefer Halachot. To be osek b'Torah. So what does this mean, Rabotai? Anyone that's zochet to have children, you're osek yomam v'layla on that child. You spend all your money for that child. You want to make sure he's healthy, he's educated, he succeeds in life. You put all your kochot into that child. Says the Ben Ish Chai, Hen ga'alti etchem acharit kereshit. It's the same way we put our effort into our children. We'll put into acharit, into the Torah. Where it's yomam v'layla, we delve into it. and we want to preserve it. We want to see the success of the Torah in the world. Not just our own, but for everyone around us. They will be zocher for the Geula. You know, Rabotai, we've had the zechut to be involved with Chazak for 13 years, Baruch Hashem. You know, Beikar, we do shiurim for men, women, frum people, not so frum people. Our main focus is on public school kids. We have thousands here in Queens that Hashem Yishmor are losing their Jewish identity. But there's one thing that we could say is a keter, is the crown of all our avodah. It's his yeshiva based in Aslan Meir called Zichron Moshe V'Leah. This yeshiva was started by Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Aaron Walken Shlita. And when we started the yeshiva, Rabotai, it was meant for Bachorim and Balabatim. But we said we need to plant some trees that are kavuadik in the Bet Midrash. That when everyone walks in, you see tzaddikim, Talmidei Chachamim learning. And that's when we had this Daya family, Mr. Binyamin HaKohen, Shtei Bari, Moshe's Daya, his son, Shtei Bari, and all the Chaverim, many other people that came along and said, let's get about 10 Avrechim to sit and learn Torah over here. And Rabotai could be me'id, I could testify. The Rosh Yeshiva, Hen Ga'ati Etchem Acharit Kereshit, he takes the Torah and he takes his children. I don't just mean his biological children. I mean these Talmidim, the Bachorim, the Avrechim, and he gives his life, Yomam V'Layla, for their success. Anyone that knows, the Rosh Yeshiva is not from Queens. He used to live in Queens. He lives in Lakewood. Baruch Hashem, Hashem bless him with a beautiful keilah over there, a beautiful home over there, a beautiful environment over there. He leaves his makom of comfort. I mean really comfort, Baruch Hashem. You don't have nonsense in Lakewood. I'm sure you do, but not as much as you have in Queens. And Baruch Hashem, he leaves his makom of comfort to stay here the whole week. Sometimes he drives during the week, back and forth, sleeps in a dinky little apartment. Why? Because he realizes he wants to build the Torah, and he wants to build his Talmidim, his children, mamash as if their own. And Baruch Hashem, today we have the zechus to receive 8 Chashav Talmidei Chachamim. I know all of them personally. Everyone on their own level is a tremendous Bal Midot Tovot. Derech Eretz Kadman Torah. I can tell you one thing before we can talk about the Torah, and there are Melut B'Torah. They have tremendous midot, and every single one of them makes me, because you know, so I always complain. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. It's too much on my shoulders, and it really is Baruch Hashem sometimes. But when you see the real erlichness, the erlichkeit, the genuine Talmidei Chachamim that we have here, it gives us a push to continue growing the Bet Midrash and growing the Kollel. And I want to thank, on behalf of everyone, the Rosh Yeshiva, for all your efforts, Mesirut Nefesh that we have. And now we're going to start B'ezrat Hashem the Chag Semicha with the Rosh Yeshiva saying a few words. B'chavod harav.
B'shus Moiri V'Rabbi Hagayin Hagadol Rav Noach Chayzikol Bam Shlita. Rebbe, I thank you, and my Talmidim know that I thank you for, since I was a little boy, you were my role model. You were my role model, Goyin in Torah, what it means to be a Goyin in leadership. Talmud Chacham with Midas, which I fell in love with. Rebbe, I fell in love with you, if I could say that. And this love I give over to my Talmidim. I sit here with Rav Ilan Shlita. Rav Ilan, I love you. The community loves you. And what we love about you is your Mesiras Nefesh. You spoke about my Mesiras Nefesh. I think yours is a little more. Talmud Chacham, I remember how you started. I remember the Mesiras Nefesh. You had to fight Milchemta Shel Torah. You should keep on fighting with Midas and Erlichkeit. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give you Siyata Dishmaya, Rav Ilan. Amen. And you should have Harbe Hatzlacha. I'm not going to be long. I feel the Rav spoke, so I'll just say Bekitzur. A thought I had sitting at the Siyum HaShas. I looked around, and something came to me, something very profound. There's a vort in this week's parsha that we just read in Parshas Vayigash, which I think highlights the Siyum HaShas. Ves Yehuda sholach lefonav El Yosef. He sends Yehuda to go first before he comes down to Mitzrayim. Yehuda has a mission. And Rashi says, what is the mission? L'sakin loy beis Talmud. To create. L'sakin, interesting lashon. L'sakin, to fix, almost a lashon of fixing. A beis Talmud. There's a few questions, Rabbi Isai. Why Yehuda? Why Yehuda? Yisachar is the Rosh Hashiva, the Talmud Chacham, the Lamdin. The Rambam actually says that Yaakov Avinu designated Levi to be Rosh HaYeshiva. So either Yisachar or Levi. Why Yehuda? Why was it Yehuda's job, his mission, to create L'sakin Lo Beis Talmud, a yeshiva before Yaakov comes? And what's wrong if we create the yeshiva once he comes? Why does it have to be before he goes down to Mitzrayim? And the Lashon HaPasuk, Rabbi Isai, says El Yosef. Where did Chazal see that it means to fix, to establish a yeshiva if it says he sent him to Yosef? Many gave different terutzim. Why Yehuda? Yehuda's malchus, Yehuda's gvura, Yehuda's leadership. Bekitzer, it's late. Yehuda's mission was to fix the achdus. Vayigash Elov Yehuda. Midrash and the Chazal are full that here the Mesiras Nefesh over the Achva was the Tikkun. And therefore Yosef said, now it's time to reveal myself. Yaakov sends Yehuda with a mission of Achva, to fix the Achdus, and the only way to do that is L'sakin Lo Beis Talmud. Achdus, Achdus, Achdus. Unity in Klal Yisrael. Unity of a community is Torah, Torah, Torah. The Siyum HaShas unified Klal Yisrael in a beautiful way. All types of Eden coming together, united in a daf. From what I understand, that was Rameir Shapiro. That's why he created the Daf Yomi. That Eden should unite, and they should all be learning the same daf. And through that, we become we become a nation. And this is all we have in Galus, Rabbi Isai. There's nothing that could unite Klal Yisrael. There's nothing that you can unite a community more than Torah and Torah. I'd like to just take one more minute of your time. There's another lesson that needs to be learned in the Daf Yomi. The Siyum HaShas, we had two generations. Forgive me if I speak from the heart a minute. We had the generation that went through the Holocaust, and the generation of today sitting at a Siyum HaShas. You know, Rabbi Isai, there's different nisyonis for Klal Yisrael throughout the generations. Sometimes the nisyon is beguf that they want to kill Klal Yisrael. And it takes tremendous mesiras nefesh. We got to give up as karbanis our guf. maybe just as difficult as the Mesiras Nefesh of our generation. To learn even though outside is nisyonis, difficulties, all the different things that pull us away. That's also a Mesiras Nefesh. You know, Yaakov Avinu was makriv a carbon on the Har HaBayis, in the Makam HaMikdash. The Rambam actually tells us Adam was, Noach was, and Yitzchak and Avram was makriv Yitzchak. But we don't find Yaakov was makriv a carbon. There's an interesting Tzrar Amar. The Tzrar Amar says that when he got the dream, Yaakov Avinu. He puts an event, he puts a stone, Vayitzaik shemen al roisha. He puts oil. Where did he get that oil from? Says the Tzrar Amar, Shem Kadmainim, that he had it in his stick, he carried it. And this was the oil that he used to learn through the nights. He needed light. Keep him makli avarti es hayardein hazeh. Yaakov Avinu says, what gave me the strength through the gullus was makli, my stick. What is the stick? Avarti es hayardein hazeh. Makli is the oil. And Yaakov takes this oil and he puts it on the mizbech that he built, because that's Yaakov Avinu's carbon. There's different type of carbonas. Sometimes it's Akedah, it's Holocaust, where we're taken and we're put into an oven, into crematorium. And sometimes the Hakrava is Torah, when it's difficult. Torah at night. Mashiach Chachma says, is Galus. Yaakov gets all his nevuah in Galus at night. Because Rabbi Shem is saying, I'm with you at night. I'm with you in the Galus. I want to end with a story. And I think the Olam will take away from this story something very, very big chizuk. The last letter that my grandfather, Reb Shmuel David Wolkin, received from his father during the Holocaust. It's printed in the Hagdamas of all the Beis Arons. So it's somewhat of a long letter. I'll just take out the last part of the letter. He says that in today, the time that we're experiencing, it bothers me that we can't learn in Daven. Klal Yisrael is in a situation, in a Holocaust. How does the Eibishter, how does he feel? He's not getting the Torah of Klal Yisrael. But I could say about myself, children, don't worry. I've kept every hanhaga that I've done, I still keep today. I keep it through the Holocaust. I didn't miss even one hanhaga. Davening, learning. And because of that, I'm weak. But I see from myself that when the Gashmius is weakened, the Ruchnius becomes stronger. And a person can live our Ruchnius alone. That was the last letter that the Zayda sent. And I found out the history of this letter. There's a lot of details to the story, but I don't want to take too much more time. I met Rabbi Yosef Kain in Eretz Yisrael. The Talmidim know all the details of the story. Rabbi Yosef Kain is the son-in-law of Rabbi Tzvi Pesach Frank. He's the father of Reb David Kain, the Yeshiva of Chevron. And he told me, your name is Aaron Walken, I want you to meet somebody. I come to the shul, Harry Fischel, and he introduces me to somebody. And he says, this is Aaron Walken. The person's face, his demeanor, became very serious. And he said, Aaron Walken, my Rav, I'm a Pinsky Yid. I was the last person to see Yozeda, the Beis Aron. I was the last person. What was the story? Beis Aaron was in hiding because the Nazis were coming. And then when they finally came and they started making decrees, no more davening, no more learning, Yezaidah came out of hiding. And he hid his beard, and he put on a casket, and he went from house to house where the B'nai Torah were. And he knocked on their doors by himself, and he says, I opened the door, I was a Ben Torah, I got the knock on the door, and I was surprised to see the Rov. And he started pleading with me that we'll all come together in a home, in this particular house. He says he himself will be there. He'll learn, and he'll say shiurim, and he'll daven. He wants that the person should sign. The bachrim should sign, even if it means Kiddush Hashem, Mesiras Nefesh, to give up your life. He says, I was ready to do it, and then my mother came, and she started pleading with me. They thought that if we don't antagonize the Nazis, nothing will happen. Of course, it was a silly thought. We know that it's not true. But she said, don't do it. And then all of a sudden, your grandfather, the Zayda, started to cry. It was deep. How could the Pinsk be without Torah? And the tears went on my lapel, my jacket. And I was so moved that I said, I'm signing and I'm coming. And I was part of the group of B'nai Torah that was together with Yezaidah till the last moment when they took him away. Yet I was able to escape. And throughout the Holocaust, what kept me was the Torah that I learned in that house. The Torah that I learned under the duress of giving up my life with the Mesiras Nefesh. Now I understand the letter, that he didn't miss one on Haggai, his drashas. He says he gave drashas. What's the point I'm trying to bring out, Rabbi Isai? Torah is Mesiras Nefesh. There was generations where the Mesiras Nefesh was to give up our lives, and our fathers did it. We come from a lineage of Eden that gave up life for Torah. Today, we have to be Mesiras Nefesh differently. Every generation has its own Misyonis, and it needs its own Mesiras Nefesh. Nevertheless, it's Mesiras Nefesh. You talk about my Mesiras Nefesh. I thank the Eibishter for giving me the schus to watch how you, like Torah, Koil, beautiful B'nai Torah, your Mesiras Nefesh. It's probably bigger than my Mesiras Nefesh. I grew up with this. I don't have much choice in it, as they say. You're fighting a fight, a struggle. You're Mesiras Nefesh. This is Kiddush Shem Shemayim. Sitting right here in front of you, Rabbi. Say, this is Kiddush Shem Shemayim. And this is what we asked Eibishter. We're in Galus, yet we're still your children. And we still Mesiras Nefesh for your Torah, the Achdus, as one nation, as one people. My bracha to all you, the Messiahim. Take this lesson. Go into the community and be Marbitz Torah b'Mesiras Nefesh, selfless. Be selfless. That's Torah. I wish you all a bracha atzlacha. I thank again the Rav for everything. And amidst Hashem, we're going to give out the smichas. And amidst Hashem, you should all be zeicha to banim, bnei banim, meiskim b'Torah. And b'schus this, we should have the geula shleima b'meher b'yomeinu. Amen.